Very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 2nd December 2025, Tuesday class. So as usual, we will be having our Puja. So let us gather. Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛。Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无准提菩萨。南无准提菩萨。南无准提菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุขโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิ ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาทินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาตตานังเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ Okay, you can be seated. Turn to page 3 of the chanting book. We will continue from the Deepa Puja onwards. Kanna sarappa ditena dipena tamadasina tiloka dipang sambuddhang Pujayami tamonudam Kanda sambarayutena Duppena hang sugang hina Pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna ganda gunopetang Etang kusuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujami bedang kesumena nena Punnena mentena cha hotu mokkang Pupang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang Adivase no bante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase no bante Pali parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patikan hatu muttamang Adivase no bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patikan hatu muttamang. Okay, now you chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of oral aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Sada, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers, carrying a transformed merge to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive it. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's be like Tripaja. We're done, Puja. Dhamma Puja. Sanghang Puja. Okay, you all can be seated. Okay, as usual, we off the light so that we all can have your half an hour of awareness-based meditation. Okay? Just relax body and mind. Maintain silence of mind within. Then silence everything. Don't try to know. Don't try to do anything. So remember the four support to develop awareness-based meditation. Just relax body and mind. Completely relax. Body and mind is free, relax, without any stress, tension, or whatever. Then just maintain the inner awareness. Make sure the mundane thinking is completely off or silent. So the third support is stabilizing this inner awareness. Second support is just to maintain the awareness. Then when you want to stabilize the inner awareness, you must continue to allow the mind to be. Don't create any more thinking or any more thought activity. The basis of the understanding behind is very important. When you understand that without thought, the awareness is already there. That basis is the most important understanding. So don't try to think, which means you don't try to do or don't try to develop any thought activity. Even trying to know, to perceive is a thought activity. And most people are so conditioned. The moment they perceive something, the thought will manifest based on their views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system. So maintaining the inner awareness is to just be aware at the moment of sense experience. Means as a human being, we are a conscious being. We can become conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we totally feel and think. So this six sense basis upon contact with external sense data and the consciousness that is trapped within, it can trigger the respective sense or consciousness. That at the moment when it arises, just aware, finish. Don't let it continue. Don't even try to perceive, think, and develop the usual proliferation of thought leading to heedless thinking. Avoid doing that. So the best is whatever arises is always at the sixth sense door. The moment it arises, you just allow the pure awareness nature to be based aware, finish. Don't try to know, don't try to do, don't try to continue to allow the thought process to arise. So first support, relax, maintaining awareness, then stabilizing the awareness. Just do these three. Then when you can do it well, your mind will settle down. Whatever happens, just let things be. Then your mundane thinking mind, which most people have not trained or developed the ability to silence it, it will continue its movement. And most of the time, this movement, if you are not aware and you have not developed the understanding, you have a tendency to feed it in more thought energy to proliferate the thinking. That's why the mind can develop all the heedless thinking, the habitual tendency, and all the thought activity and movement. So when you have the understanding, then you just allow it to be. Means whatever happens, just let it be. Then you realize all this sankhara activity or movement, the unfinished business, they will slow down, slow down, slow down, and finally come to a standstill. You become like a silent witness of what happened, means of what is. So pure awareness-based meditation is to develop this inner awareness, to be the silent mind, to witness. And this silent mind that witness all this arising and passing away, all movement, can develop understanding. It can give rise to wisdom. It can see things as they are. Then it can also insight into phenomena and awaken. And this is what we call the direct seeing with the pure awareness nature, which is our true mind, our silent mind, without thought activity. And for those who already have stabilized the pure awareness within, then you can move on to do the fourth support, which is trust, Trust. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movement. So this fourth support can only be done when you have stabilized your pure awareness within. So to do it is very simple, because by then the pure awareness already stabilized. Wherever you want it to be, it will stay there. So you just move your pure awareness nature to your heart area. Just silence everything. And let your pure awareness nature detect whatever that arises. It can be any vibration or heartbeat around the area. Then the moment you detect it, silence everything and stay with it. Then allow it to move. That nature is intelligent, already wise. It will know what to do. It will move on its own. Then if you are patient enough, it will help you locate the gateway to your nature. And that's how you develop the fourth support. And the fourth support is only needed if you are going the Bodhisattva way. Otherwise, you can just do the first three support good enough. Okay, now I will set that up 30 minutes and you all can meditate on your own. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come on your meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, inner awareness that you develop for as long as you can. And stabilize this daily mindfulness. Okay, turn to page 6 of the chanting. We will do the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the Devas or deities come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra gachantu devata Saddhamang munirajasa Sunantu sakemokadang Dhamma sunan kalo ayang badanta Dhamma sunan kalo ayang badanta Dhamma sunan kalo ayang badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Iti beso bhagawa arahang samma sambuddho Vijajarana sampanno sunato lokavidu Anotaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanam Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Panaiko Pachatang Veditabo Enohiti Supatipano Bhagavato Sākasango Ujupatipano Bhagavato Sākasango Yaya Patipano Sāvakasangho Ya Samichi Patipano Bhagavato Sāvakasangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvakasangho Ahuniyo Papuniyo Dakiniyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now I'll continue from where we stopped. Okay, we are at the Sutta Pada. Then all the children, knowing their father was sitting at ease, went before him and said to him, Please give us the 3 kinds of jewel cuts that you promised us when you said, If you children come out of the burning house, I will give you 3 kinds of cards, just as you wish. Now the time has come, so please give them to us. Okay, we go to the commentaries. The children, having escaped from the burning house, did not even look back over their shoulder to see how high the flames were raging. The first thing on their mind was to go straight to the Buddha and ask for the cards he had promised. So the Buddha had told them that the cards were outside. Since they did not see the card outside, that's why they asked for them. So here, according to the Sutta, those who managed to come out of the burning house means they are already able to escape the three rights, samsara. But they were offered the three cards, means the three type of cultivation. One is the we call it the sound hearer, the vehicle of the sound hearer. So the vehicle of the sound hearer is the first vehicle. And these are provisional teachings. Then there is a vehicle of the Pajeka Buddha, or some call it the solitary Buddha. And this one is the second vehicle. Then the third vehicle is the supreme vehicle, or what we call the Bodhisattva way cultivation. Okay, back to the notes. Then all the children, knowing their father was sitting at ease, went before him. So the meaning is they saw their father here means the Buddha seated in his lion seat. He was calm, upright, and proper. It was the perfect opportunity for the children, means those who managed to escape, to ask for their cards. Since he was sitting there looking so happy, they requested the promised cards from him. The sheep card, the deer card, and the ox card. So these are the three vehicle cultivation. Their requests for the cards represent the time when the Dhamma flower, the wonderful Dhamma flower lotus, lotus flower Sutra, the great vehicle Dhamma, was about to be taught. All living beings hope to attain the supreme vehicle Dhamma. These children, seeing their father sitting there, went before him to get their cards. This is an analogy for an earlier line in the sutta. With reverence heart, they came before the Buddha. All living beings went before the Buddha with utmost respect. And they said to him, please give us the three kinds of jewel cards that you have promised us when you said, etc. These children reminded the Buddha, you told us you had three types of cards, small, medium, and large. Now we have come out to get those cards that you promised us. What does this refer to? What does this reference to the Father's promise represent? The reference to the promise represents that the living beings have not cut off their attachment. They are attached to the lesser vehicle, the middle vehicle, Dhamma, that the Buddha had previously taught. They had doubt about the great vehicle, Dhamma, that the Buddha has started to teach. They were clinging to the past and had doubt about the present. They were attached to what they had learned previously. So they doubted the great vehicle Dhamma that was then been taught. Just think, the Buddha had dwelt in the world teaching the Dhamma for so long. Yet when he finally taught the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra, his disciple doubted what he said. They harbored doubts in their mind, but did not express them. Even the Buddha, with his awe-inspiring virtue, was doubted by common people. It's no wonder then that when the I means Master Hsuan lectured the Dhamma flower a wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. Many of you take it casually and do not believe it. You might feel that it has some meaning for you, and that is why you listen. You are not yet sure whether the Buddha Dhamma is true or false. And because there are so many principles to understand, you waver between doubt and faith. The reason that none of you have obtained a response in the Dhamma is because of your doubt. It prevents you from going deep or deeply into the Dhamma and bring forth genuine faith. Those with genuine faith will reject their past knowledge and view. You do not change, but continue to hold on to your erroneous knowledge and view. Then you may study the Buddha Dhamma for your entire life, or even in life after life, but you will never understand it. Therefore, you should bring forth genuine faith and learning the Buddha Dhamma. The elder has said, if you children come out of the burning house, I will give you 3 kinds of cards, just as you wish. So these 3 kinds of cards represent the Dhamma of the 3 vehicles, as I've explained earlier, that would be given to living beings. In the past, the Buddha had taught the Dhamma of the 3 vehicles to beings according to the level of sainthood or sagehood they wish to attain, whether they are the Savaka or the sound hearer or the Pachika Buddha vehicle or the Bodhisattva. So these are the 3 vehicles. Now in the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Assembly, the 3 vehicle Dhamma are regarded as expedients. Since the 3 vehicle Dhammas are merely expedient Dhammados, then there must be another type of great vehicle Dhamma that is to be given to living beings. Then the sutta says, now the time has come, so please give them to us. Similarly, the disciple now wanted to study the great vehicle Dhamma. All living beings hope that the Buddha would use the great vehicle Dhamma to teach and transform them. Okay, the next part of the sutta. The elders, having great wealth and storehouse with abundant qualities of gold, silver, vidura, Vaiduya, great clamshell, and carnelian. Use this precious object to craft various great cards. The cards were beautifully decorated, surrounded by railings, hung with bells on all 4 sides, with golden cords strung around them. A bow nut spreads above them. There were golden flower tassels hanging everywhere, with ornaments made of multicolored silk encircling them. There were mats made of brocade, soft silk fabric, the finest cotton cloth, valued in the thousands of kotis, pure white and sparkling clean, was spread over them. Great white oxen, plump, strong, and powerful, of fine appearance, were harnessed to the jewel carts, and were attended upon by many servants. Fine carts such as these were given equally to all his children. In the commentary, the elder having great wealth refers to the Buddha, who was the most honored, noble, and wealthy in all of the worlds. He had the honor and nobility of a king and the wealth of the 4 seas. He stood to inherit a throne in India. Instead, he left the homeland, then cultivate and attain self-awakening, the capacity to bring others to awakening, and the perfection of awakening and practices. Having perfected the three kinds of awakening and accomplished the right virtues, he is described as having great wealth. And the elder also possessed storehouse with abundant quality of treasure. A storehouse is a place for keeping valuable items, physically protected and concealed from sight. The storehouse can be analogous to our six sense faculties, where the matrix of the Tathagata, the Buddha nature, is hidden inside. When manifesting through the gateway of our six sense faculty, the Buddha nature appears as precious awareness. The content of the storehouse represent the right practices, which are like hidden treasure. The six sense faculty can also be interpreted as the six paramitas. These are good analogy. The practices of the six paramita can enhance the virtue resulting from one's right practices. So the right practices are contained in each paramita, and the six paramita are contained in each practice. Therefore, the six paramitas of perfection and the right practices are interrelated. All dhammas contain all practices, and all practices contain all dhamma. The dhamma are countless, and the practices are also countless. We use countless practices to cultivate countless dhamma, and countless dhamma to realize countless practices. Thus, the six paramita and the six practices are represented by storehouse with abundant qualities of treasure. So this is a good way of presenting the analogy. Because our physical body, we have our six sense door within our physical body. Then within this physical body at the heart area, protected by the rib cage and the backbone and all those things, lies the heart where our Buddha nature is. That pure awareness nature is within, but there is a gateway to locate it. That's why the supreme vehicle way, you cultivate it properly, then you can detect it. Then from there, you can develop the higher practice of cultivation, thereby understanding the extensive nature within. And the analogy is within this nature, it can give rise to the right dhammas that can also in return give rise to the right wisdom and understanding. That's why the cultivation of the Bodhisattva way, it takes so long, is because the cultivation involves long period of practices, cultivation and awakening. And as you progress, it leads to very, very extensive manifestation of Dhamma understanding. That's why I always say the Bodhisattva way is very unique, because it's a lot more extensive than the normal sainthood way, or even the Pajika Buddha's vehicle training. Where this one is not just to realize the enlightenment, to set the form and mind free, so that there is no more future rebirth born of ignorance. The extensive cultivation can lead to the perfection of the 10 parameters. In the Mahayana tradition, they emphasize on 6, which they believe is also equivalent to the final 10. So, when we develop all this cultivation extensively over long period of existence, long period of continuous birth and death, following the supreme vehicle cultivation, or what we call the Bodhisattva way, where we take the 4 basic power of a Bodhisattva to develop all these extensive cultivation and practices. So when you develop that, then your vast experience and understanding can give you that type of wisdom which is very different. That's why ultimately you become a Sammasambuddha, or what we call a fully enlightened being, perfect in virtue and wisdom. Means the highest possible perfection. And like I always say, the uniqueness of the Sammasambuddha is they are so different. They are so immense in their cultivation and perfection. And because of that, you can say when they arise as a being, especially within the human race, to become a Sammasambuddha, you can say this being, after they gain enlightenment and connect back, they inherit the Sambhogaya Kaya, or the spiritual body that has all the perfection. And when that one arises, they become the Sammasambuddha. Means they have developed what we call perfect wisdom. Yeah. So we can say that they are the wisest being ever to be born, and most virtuous ever to be born. That's why they got these 2 very unique qualities. That perfection make them very, very wise. They are not only enlightened, they are fully enlightened. Means they have perfected all the awakening. Then, because of that vast extent of wisdom, perfection, their virtue also develop until perfect. That's why they have 2 unique qualities. Wisdom and virtue. Okay, we continue. Go back to the... Okay, here the commentary continues. The storehouse full of gold, silver, oidua, giant clamshell, and carnelians, etc. So gold, silver, giant clamshell, and carnelian are 4 of the precious treasure in the world. These represent the Buddha's 4 kinds of wisdom, the most precious and priceless treasure in the world. They are the wisdom of the great perfect mirror. Then the second one is the wisdom that looks upon self and others as equal. Then third is the wisdom of, or the wonderful wisdom of observation. Then number 4 is the wisdom that brings everything to perfection. The elder or the Buddha used these precious objects to craft various great gods There are more than 4 kinds of precious objects in the world, and the Buddha Dhamma has more than 4 kinds of wisdom. The Dhamma includes the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 4 kinds of right effort, the 4 steps of spiritual powers, the 5 roots, and the 5 power. Actually, this one is the spiritual faculty. The 7 factors of enlightenment, noble impulse path. There are many Dhammas. Using these various Dhamma door, the Buddha created the great vehicle Dhamma. The great vehicle Buddha Dhamma, the Buddha vehicle, is comprised of all Dhammas. This is represented by the word. Use this precious object to craft various great cards. The cards were beautifully decorated, surrounded by railings, hung with bells on all 4 sides with golden cords strung around them. Commentary. The cards were adorned with intertwining decorations and were very beautiful to look at. There were railings and hanging bells on all 4 sides of each card. The gold cords intertwined to form nets over the cards. The card represents the Buddha's great vehicle Dhamma. They illuminate heaven and earth. The beautifully decorated cards represent the Dhamma, which is more beautiful than anything else in the world. The lines surrounded by railing represent Dharani. Dharani is a Sanskrit word that means total retention, that is encompassing all Dhamma and retaining countless meaning. Encompassing all Dhamma means both the great vehicle and the lesser vehicle are included. Retaining countless meanings means that within all the Dhamma there are countless meanings. Surrounded by railing represent Dharani, because it encourages one to practice all forms of goodness and discourage one from doing anything evil. Hung with bells on 4 sides represent the 4 types of obstructed eloquence, with golden cords strung around them represent the 4 great vows. This is the Bodhisattva vows. So now I will read to you. The first vow, the Bodhisattva, these are the 4 basic vows where all Bodhisattvas going this way must take. Living beings are boundless. I vow to save them all. Afflictions are endless. I vow to cut them all. Dhamma doors are countless. I vow to study them all. Actually, it should be I vow to study and perfect them all. And Buddhahood is unsurpassed. I vow to realize is the 10 perfection leading to Sammasambuddhahood. These 4 basic vows or vast vows encompasses all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Sravaka is the sound hearer, and Pacceka Buddhas. Therefore, it is not enough just to recite, living beings are boundless. I vow to save them all. What should be done? You have to return the light and reflect. I have vowed to save all the boundless living beings. Have I saved them? If I have, it should still be the same as if I have not saved them. Why? It is said that the Buddha saved all living beings, yet not a single living being has been saved. Well, you said, Since saving living being is the same as not saving living being, then it's not saving living beings the same as saving them. That's different. You can talk about saving living beings, but you cannot be attached to the idea of saving beings. If you can dismiss the idea that you have saved them, then that is fine. But if you have not saved them, you cannot claim to have done so. That is not acceptable. On the other hand, if you have saved some beings, you can still say that you haven't saved any. Why is that? It's because you are not attached. But you can't say that you have saved them when you have not done so. By the same token, the Buddha led all living beings to attain stillness, yet he did not acknowledge that he has brought a single living being to stillness. The Buddha has realized Sammasambuddhahood, but we have not yet become we have not yet become Buddha or saved living being. So we can't say that we have saved any. Where do living beings come from? Living beings are born from a confluence of causes and conditions. How many causes and conditions are there? There are 12 causes and conditions that leads to birth in a living being. This one is the Paticca Samuppada. The 12 links of dependent origination, as they are called, are okay. Before going into this, I think Shenhua has its own way of explaining to you, but I have a different understanding. So you see, when it comes to saving living beings, we are talking about the four basic power of the Bodhisattvas, because we need to come back to the conditioned world to continue our cultivation, but not through the usual, what they call rebirth via ignorance. Normally, if you have completed your basic training of the sainthood way, after you have realized the what they call arahantaship, then only if you have the causes and conditions to continue your supreme vehicle cultivation, you will take the four basic vows and continue the cultivation. So this part is very important. But like what we have gone through in the Diamond Sutra, even a Sotapan, the first stage of sainthood, he will have the understanding that the form and mind is not him. That so-called living being is not real. Not what you are, not a permanent unchanging entity. That's why through that, Huiling also realized the three hallmarks of Huiling, which he has developed. So I better write down where every time I talk about the three hallmarks of wisdom of Huiling, I never write it down. I better add the word wisdom hallmarks. So this one is related to his cultivation after he has developed the higher teachings, understanding, and perfection. he came out with these 3 hallmarks, or I call it the special wisdom. The first hallmark is no thought. Realization. Or in Mahayana Mandarin version is better. 无念的境界. Then second hallmark is no mark. Realization. So when you realize the second hallmark, you will come to know there is no mark of a self cultivating, no mark of living beings, no mark of others. Then you will understand why in the lotus flower, a wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta, the Buddha actually did mention, like in the Diamond Sutta, when you develop the vow to take the limitless living being across, but in actual fact, you have not taken over any. So when you have this understanding, then you will know there is no being to be taken across. But then the Bodhisattva way is to cultivate the perfection and cultivation within the existential world. So within the existential Dhamma, existential world, there is such thing as living beings. There is such thing as the law of karma. There is such thing as Dhamma, duality, everything. So that is the understanding. Then the third most powerful and most difficult realization is no dwelling. Realization. So first one, no thought means 无念的境界. Then no mark. No mark in Mahayana means, in the Mandarin version is, you call the one what? 相, is it? 无相的境界. Then this one, 无住, the mind doesn't dwell anywhere. Means you have realized the Buddha nature, the oneness nature. That nature within that has no dwelling. The mind doesn't dwell anywhere. Yeah. So this 3 hallmarks of feeling correspond to all the great wisdom that Sammasambuddha realized. That's why his teaching is sometimes put on par with the Sammasambuddha. Okay, we go back to the note. So just now when they mentioned about despite the vow, you vow to take across the limitless living being. In fact, you have not taken across any. That is the meaning. Yeah. So make a note of that, because Shenhua used another explanation, which I think is not so easy to follow. Yeah. So this paticca samuppada, or what we call the law of dependent origination, is not easy to understand. You see, even here, what has been listed here, I think Shenhua also follow the Theravada tradition style of the commentaries version over the 3 period of time. So first, of course, is ignorant. Dependent on avijja, it condition. You see, he used the word volitional activity or action. The actual Pali word is avijja paccaya sankhara. So dependent on ignorance, it conditions sankhara. Sankhara is mental thinking, mental activity, mental stirring, mental reaction. It's not only volitional action. It's not only like we call it volitional activity that give rise to karmic. Then the second one, he said, volitional action, which is the condition for consciousness. This one, they try to follow what they call the Theravada traditions explanation, the commentary, based on the commentary which I explained to you all before. So, avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana, vijnana paccaya namarupa. So he put bracket embryonic stage, means give birth to a new form and mind. Then after that, he straight away continued, he said, because of this nama rupa, name and form, which is the condition for the sixth sense faculty, means when the embryo stage arises, it slowly evolve and become for us as human beings, born into a baby, a newborn baby. And because of that, they say within the newborn baby or being, for us is the human being, you have the sixth sense faculty within. Then dependent on sixth sense faculty, your condition, what they call contact, sense contact, sensory contact. Then dependent on sensory contact, your conditions, actually feeling. I don't know why he put perception. Upon contact, feeling arise. So contact is pasat. Pasat paccaya vedana. Vedana paccaya tanha. So number 7 is condition craving. It should be feeling, not sense perception. Then craving condition grasping, grasping condition becoming, becoming which is become that thing. Condition birth, you become that thing, then you like arise as transgression, means you like born into it. Then birth, with birth arise the whole mass of suffering, which is old age, sickness, and death, etc. So this way is the traditional Theravada commentaries explanation, where they find it almost impossible to understand and develop the explanation of the instantaneous dependent origination, or what we call paticca samuppada manifesting within living beings. In fact, this paticca samuppada, they arise very fast and almost instantaneously, every moment, every instant. Sometimes it is not complete. That's why I call it multi-dimensional, as I have explained it before in the retreat. So the correct version is, go back to just now, number 1. Go back to number 1, okay. You see, the actual understanding is this. You listen, and repeat again for the benefit of those who have not gone to the retreat. So when the Buddha say avijja paccaya sankhara, The meaning is dependent on ignorance. It conditions sankhara activity. What is sankhara activity? Yeah? Mental thinking, mental activity. So where do you move to? You move to your brain. Because like in the school, when the teacher normally, if you want to understand anything, he said, go back and think about it. So because of ignorance, you don't understand. So one thing to know, one thing to understand, you develop the thinking. That's why thinking arises. And thinking arises from where? The memory. The thought is respond to memory. Like the newborn baby, without memory, clean slate, there is no thought. They have pure perception. Everything is very pure, naive. They actually, like we say, see things as they are. But there is no interpretation from the brain and the memory. And because of that, we arise the first manifestation, the organ of the brain. So when we think means what? We make contact with the brain, correct? And the brain is an organ, like the physics experiment. Upon contact, when you on the switch, the light bulb lights up, the lighting up is to become conscious. So if it's at the brain, it's conscious of what? Thought consciousness. Understand how? So that's why avijja paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vijnana. So initially it's the pure consciousness, vijnana, without its content, like the baby arise. Yeah. Then dependent on that, the Buddha said, vijnana paccaya nama rupa. That is when the content of consciousness go in. Then it become a thought. Then the five aggregates through the perception aggregate, bringing the external form. And this content of consciousness that goes into the pure vijnana becomes the five aggregate of form and mind, second aspect, which is the thought. And this thought, which is the basis of what they call living. That's how we become a conscious being. That's how we are capable of arising consciousness and the thought process, leading to all the karmic conditioning, etc. And because of that, the Buddha said, for it to arise, dependent on that manifestation of that consciousness, there must be sense basis. Otherwise, it cannot arise. That's why dependent on that five aggregate of form and mind, second aspect, Namarupa. There must be six sense bases. Then from there, only the rest take place. So dependent on sense bases, it can trigger off contact. It can condition contact, pasad. Then dependent on contact, the first thing to arise simultaneously with the seven universal is feeling. That's how the whole Paticca Samuppada moves. Then feeling condition craving, craving condition grasping, grasping condition becoming, then becoming condition birth. Hence arise the whole mess of suffering. So that is the correct understanding of Paticca Samuppada. When you are mindful, aware, when you have developed the stability of daily mindfulness, you will understand what I share with you. Because you will see in your own meditative mind, which is a pure awareness. You can be at the moment of contact, at the moment of sense experience, at the moment of arising of feeling. You want to stay there, you can stay there. No. Then how you will condition craving if you don't have wisdom, if you don't have uniso manaskara, that link you cannot cut. Then all this You can actually, moment to moment, with the pure awareness nature inside, with mindfulness and sati, see it arising and passing away. Then step by step, you understand how you actually function as a human being, how you develop all the arising of all this movement, stirring of the mind, all the contact that condition all this activity, how you become emotional, fearful, develop all the anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, phobia, insecurity, whatever. Even your what they call excitement or whatever. All the various type of possible mind state. Then when you meditate, how it condition the mental peace, mental tranquility, stillness, or even one-pointedness of mind, developing into energy field. All this, you can see that. Then you will understand clearly why the Buddha said, within the conditioned world, everything is condition arising, dependent originating. This explains how our mundane mind functions, how the mind, no, mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chi. When mind arises, all things arise. So this mind is a movement from our pure awareness nature. So our pure awareness nature is like the primordial. Because we have that, that's why from there it can stir and manifest the phenomenal world of consciousness, the four circle formation. That's why I call it the stages of creation. From the source, we move on to the pure awareness nature, which is the first to arise. Then from there, it creates the five aggregate of form and mind, Namarup, the second aspect. Then from there, it manifests like the field experiment, the phenomenal world of consciousness. Because that is how creation comes to be. So our existential world, which is our phenomenal world of consciousness and form, that is the one that actually created existence and life. And without the Dhamma, you cannot understand. Then you can be entangled, afflicted. You can be lured and enticed by the manifestation. You cling on to all this manifestation. Actually, mind make a day, like the Buddha said. They are just consciousness arising and passing away. It's just a phenomenon of consciousness. Moment to moment it arises and passes away. Dependent on condition, it arises. When condition ceases to be, it ceases to be. And as real as it can be, it's just an image and its content. It's just consciousness and its content. Not so real, not so tangible. But because we perceive it externally as very solid, like this table and everything that you can see. You open your eye, like everything arises, created, tangible, solid. But are they real? No. How do you come to know about it? Through your mundane thinking. Mundane consciousness is just an image with the brain memory interpreting what this thing is. So not what you think, not so real. Okay? So we go back. We have to stop already. Okay, we go to number 12 just now. Okay, we stop here. We stop here. After number 12, we stop that one. Then we have 3 minutes of toilet break. And after that, we come back for a second session. I think today's second session, Alicia will continue. She got another part to go. So wait for us to come back. Okay, now we come to second session. We'll get Alicia to continue with her sharing on the Jiwa Santre. So
Good evening, Brother Jill, Mrs. Stew, and all Kalamita。其实九华山差不多要完了，只是我在想讲一点点，就是在那个大佛，就是那个大佛，就是那个地藏王菩萨大大哥，我们叫他大佛那边，我们就去点灯，去帮卡拉米达点灯，还有跟 Mrs. Stew 点灯，还有就是讨论，然后就是spontaneous 的啦，不是怎样，就是问，就是跟大家点灯，希望点亮大家的心灯。然后就是其实我在九华山，我有跟药师佛request，就是request 就是说帮我看怎样的，要 continue 我的 work，就要有一个健康的身体，但是当下我其实不懂药师佛的那个这个法门呢，我们叫一个法门，我也不清楚，我只是想到他能够医病，其实是不是的，他有他的12愿，还有接下来他所有的，只能说他可以让我们解脱。对，其实在I think 几个月前，因为身边的人都在生病啊，所以我都会去帮他们request for 这个离苦嘛，这个病苦疾病的啦，在这个方面，然后就到九华山，我也是接着在做这个，然后尤其是在鸡鸣寺I think 有一个药师佛塔。我就很有 faith 的这样去 no pay respect 这样子，然后也跟狗论，因为狗论的身体不太好，我希望他早点好，然后去走这个 path 是这样子。然后我在南京差不多要 end 的时候，我也帮大家做 repentance 啊，全部就 before 我回来的时候，因为我大多数我起得早，所以就做了这个 repentance，然后回来我忽然间第二天我就生病了，然后第二天生病，我心想只是喉咙痛也没什么嘛，然后到第3天。我的病情忽然间咳嗽咳得很厉害，然后我就里面有一个 message 跟我说你去 hospital，那我就去 hospital，然后就 put on the nebulizer，then after that 就比较舒服，然后医生就配了几个药回来给我吃，然后告诉我你2天如果好不了，你还是要回来看你的 specialist，physician 啊，他说，然后我就过了2天后。我还是照着回去看医生啊，但是我想说的，这个期间我生病，我是在咳嗽嘛，一直咳嗽，我其实也不可以躺着睡，我就每次在 meditate，就在这个期间 meditation，有一天我忽然间早上起来，我就跑去我的书橱那边 directly，我就把药师佛那个经拿出来，就其实我不懂为什么，我知道那本就是药师佛的经，我拿了之后我就想，诶，然后我就念了几天过后，哇，病情更加严重，然后就停了1-2天，然后不懂怎么样，他就是 manifest 那个 condition 哦，哇，那个 emotion 全部来，好像你回到去以前癫狂到哇，全部发出来，然后又骂人哦，哇，而且哇，怎么办呢？我经常会记得起，不是就讲生病身体不要两边都病嘛，但是那个 condition 是你。不能，真的是不能，我也不懂怎么说。他好像综合病了，然后其实我自己都不知道，我只知道我骂了人之后，第二天又哭又骂这样子，就好像 back to 我以前 emotional 的时候呢。然后我骂了那天，第二天我又静下来了，那我讲哈，为什么会这样嘞？然后我又不知道为什么这样，然后我也不管，然后我就静静，但是我功课照做，全部功课照做，就是该做的做，就早上起来 念完那个楞严咒之后，我就念药师咒，药师经，整部药师经，其实你慢慢的念要1个小时的，就功课照做，然后就这样子，然后就接着下来，我就那个 mantra 就出现在我的就好像平时这样，对，那个药师佛的心咒一直在 play 了，然后不知道怎样，有一天就是过了几天哦，我就在19号那一天，就是药师佛诞嘛，早上因为那时候的我很痛苦，很痛苦，然後我就跟今晚說，Miss，你可唔可以叫菩薩加持我啊？我好似好唔掂啊，you know like very sad like that，you know，所以佢就講，哇，菩薩已經好加持你個咗咯喎，你要自己做功課，OK，I say OK，so 我知道了。其實但是在當下你是要一個對象來宣泄你那個心中的一個這個東西吧。然後他說你的心不定，然後我講OK，I'll work on it。OK，so after that 就在那個時候，他就 send 我一個12點多，他就 send 我一個藥師佛的咒語，就是說解結啊，他說那個結就是一個結你就卡在那邊的結，這樣它就是一個解結咒，就是解冤的冤結，就是以前你的所有的業障了，然後就生病的，你要怎樣的去 recite， 然後去把你的病 heal 了，然後就懺悔文，這樣子就一個 quite short 的 1 page 的，我就念了之後。念了之後 after that 我就as usual 我就做我的其他 reading， 因為生病其實在家你也不能每天在睡嘛，所以就借着這個機會去看書。然後 after that 過了大概那個時候是中午的時候，那個中會師父在檳城的，他就 send 我那個藥師佛的誕日啊，那個然後我就看了一下，然後我就OK，然後我就谷歌了他的 mantra， 不是 send 去 group 哈，然後 after that 過了大概4點多，然後忽然間我感覺我說每天都不能睡覺，這怎麼辦呢？然後我就問 Freddy 的 cousin， 因為他一直以來都很照顧我，幫我調理我的身體，我就問他。我到底要吃什麼藥來調一下我不能睡覺嘛？然後你知道他給我的answer是什麼 Brother？他說學習放下。然後然後我又很自然的答他，那就是我有心病咯，就是不是那種。然後 after that 我就過了一陣子，然後我就大概5點多，這樣我就躺下去床上去 reflect，到底他這樣說是為什麼他這樣說要叫我學習放下？對我而言，我已經不會說很 grasping on a lot of things， 那個是我認為罷了，我認為罷了。然後 after that，當我一躺下去的時候，那個姐姐就跑進來，跑進來就是來姐姐4個字罷了，他就 suddenly 好像，他就全部那個我所 hold on 的 attachment 啊，全部啊那個 anger 啊，全部給我看到這樣，滅掉，全部好像我好像在夢醒過來這樣子，你知道嗎？哇，我 I'm like crying，I mean， 這個就是我一個就是在一直哭了過後，我出來之後我好像很輕了，很輕鬆了。然後再過幾天，然後我在 meditate 的時候，我在念那個藥師佛的經的時候，早上因為我起來得很早，通常我是在早上念，然後我5點半起來，然後我做了我的 formal sitting， 我就去念這個，然後加上來大概是6點半嘛。然後當我念完這個經，我全身暖，很愛睡哦。good。然後我就跑去躺咯，躺下去它好像進入那個完全沒有東西這樣。然後當我 醒来的时候707，我好像睡了8个小时这样。It's like then我 feel 到我整个人好像 heal 到很多个 I mean maybe 70-80% 了，你知道吗？所以我很感恩，我很感恩这个药师佛这个给我这个 go through 这个 training 啊，so that 他不单只就所谓的能够以我们身体的病还有心理的病也能够一起解除，因为他的愿里面，我念他的经里面也说，他也可以帮我们把所有的别的业障啊，我们要realize 我们的菩提啊 whatever 都他能够帮我们就是满我们的愿。所以在这个过程里面，然后到有一天前2天吧，我一躺下去，他就 recall 回你之前有一个愿说你要做这个功的。你要做这个功，就是你要有病医病，没病医死嘛。但是我当下我不明白，我又不是医生，我怎么样做这个功呢 ？You know， 所以他就让我原来他这个 manifest 的这个就是让我去学习，这所有的一切，其实如果你能够用这个药师佛的法门，
他的法门很厉害的，
对，是可以做得到。因为
That's why every Buddha is different. 他们的法门呢是like to help the living beings in various ways. That's why 有时候佛讲啊84000法门啊 the meaning is that 84,000 Dhamma door is very extensive. So a lot of these great beings and Sammasambuddha, their nature are different. That's why all this, when they manifest and you have affinity, you will develop the understanding. Therefore, your case, I think, is a combination of a few factors from the past and also what happened recently. Sometimes this type of thing can come as a test because of your trip, the Juvasan trip. Then I think you were very tired as an organizer and you not enough sleep. Yeah, after that, you still do a lot of things. So the body need rest. That's why you must go through that. But it also tie in with the condition of your past that have affinity with this, also for the farmer and other things. That's why all this manifests. So what happened is that disease and sickness and you become like inside very agitated until you scold people. But it will manifest sometimes as a test. In this case, it's all related and it comes as a test. And when it comes as a test, sometimes it will manifest in such a way that it creates doubt in your mundane thinking. That's why, like you say, it's as if you have gone back to the old previous situation and all this thing. But the understanding is when the body is sick, the mind need not be sick, like I used to say. But that one you cannot see when this karmic conditioning or what they call test come. When it comes, unless your wisdom already very stable, otherwise you cannot see it, and they can manifest in such a way like it make you feel like how come still like that, and it can actually create that type of movement where you will understand that cannot be. I have the understanding and the Dhamma. How come these things still manifest? But sometimes it's a test. It's a test, and if you cannot pass the test, then you will be caught for a while. But luckily for your case, it doesn't need long. Then you clear. After you clear, it's also meant to be for you to see how your affinity, your support, and the efficacy of his farming to actually help living beings. That's why you recall you have a vow that want you to do this style work. That's why all this fall into place and connect back, which is very beautiful and very wholesome. So with all this understanding, you will slowly develop more clear and more stable understanding. And this is what I say, the cultivation is very extensive. For your case, you see in yourself, and you share with us. We also know that these things are possible. Well, for me, I went through the test was different. The test was my mother suddenly heart attack, everything, and my son compound fracture. But when I reflect on it, contemplate on it, when I develop the understanding, the whole thing reverses down very fast. But for your case, it's complicated by your vows and affinity with your support. That's why all this manifests. And finally, it doesn't take you long to go through all the so-called manifestation that allow you to develop the understanding, which is very good. Sadhu, you continue.
其实那个 emotional 上来的时候，其实那个 split second 如果我可以就是这样啊，他就不会了。但是
对，
就是
不容易，no 不容易。那个时候是来 test 你的，
他就是要
他 test 你啊，你的严重的 because that karmic obstruction, that karmic thing has actually haunted you very long. That's why this life also, despite your affinity and condition, you have to go through 16 years of operation. And that length of that is coming then to pay back or no. But also to let you see where your way is, you have to go through all those things to develop the causes and condition for you to turn. So different being, different karmic background, different condition, they will manifest differently. So for your case, the sign now is a lot easier already. But the way it just go off is after you meditate, it's like you mentioned like 8 hours, isn't it? You heal because that nature inside heal you. Then after that, it's like that thing surface again. Then the understanding come because he repeat 4 times. He asks you to what? What is the word you say? What?
解约
那
个冤结解掉
啊，解掉了。So from there, all this negative mind state like suddenly like disappear. It manifests straight away through the understanding. It's like rooted out, and that's what cultivation is all about. When this thing manifests, it's like you are clear of the thing already. Then it's like you feel so good, like heal a lot, 70-80%. That's why a lot of this understanding, they will arise. Then as you develop more and more extensive cultivation, more and more of this will surface. But normally for one lifetime, unless it's very unique to that person, the test normally come 2 or 3 times at the most. For me, it's only that time. My mother and my son. Then after that, I clear, no more already. But different people, different. For your case, I think is your karmic thing from the past is that one have to pay back a lot. That's why it create the 16 years of depression. That length is the like reflect how strong that karmic thing is. Means it has occurred over a lot of lifetime and all collected together. That's why you have to go through all this, because this is what you created through the karmic causes that cause a lot of suffering beings thought to have that depressive mind state, and they have gone through. That's why when it comes to the karmic conditioning, when there is condition for it to arise, you will be caught in that. And for it to happen over 16 years is the payback time. And as long as you haven't met the Dhamma, it show it to you. Without Dhamma, cannot come out. But the moment you connect, come, met, very fast, you clear. That's why all these are the understanding, the extensive training that we can develop. And without this extensive cultivation of the Bodhisattva way, you cannot go through all this. You cannot receive all this vast understanding. That's why it's very good. So you continue.
Yeah, but 他只appear 4个字罢了哦，姐姐，然后就 the whole thing。
对 the whole thing.
哇 ，so powerful.
It's just like when I contemplate, I have done nothing wrong. I say, my mother, why suddenly together my son also? But then the moment I develop the understanding, then that understanding manifests the condition, then the whole thing reverses itself now. And the reversal very strange, it come almost immediately. Suddenly my mother discharged. Then my son operation successful. Everything just fall into place. Then back to normal again. Yeah, that one really test your faith on you. That time I try to find out. I question myself. I say, what did I done wrong? Well, normally, if I did anything wrong, I will know. Straight away, I will know. But that two things that manifest never before. Then later on, when the whole thing reversed, then I realized with wisdom, you can actually reverse it. Whatever karmic that you're supposed to go through, you don't have to go through. You can just reverse it. That is a test for me, because that time when it strike, it really create a thought through the mundane mind. What have you done wrongly? And I reflect, I contemplate, and I say, cannot be. Then I realize the reality of life, and again, my mother heart attack is because of her cholesterol and her age. And my son, of course, got the karmic conditioning. Then I need to be tested. That's why these two things manifest more or less simultaneously within, I think, 2 weeks on. Then it's for you to understand and to see. Then other Kayamita that I heard of, the test is also very severe, but finally they come to understand and they clear. One of them, I think I told you all before, she not married, but the only way to test her is where she is not married, is somebody related to her. It turned out to be his brother, who is married with children, I think quite young, the children. Then he went for a trip to Hong Kong, the brother. And through eating seafood, he got food poisoning, and he died there. Very young, I think less than 40 years old. So traumatic. Then I told her, I said, you have reached the understanding where you need to be tested. And the causes and conditions just manifest. Then you know what she told me? But till I know this is coming, I would rather not be tested. Is it? I said, it's not for you to say whether you will be tested or not, because the karmic conditioning is like that. Causes and conditions. When everything fall into place, it will just manifest. And after all, not so real. He know you, he know me. That's why this profound understanding of the second hallmark of training, Dhamma realization, that one is very powerful. Yeah. Very good. Continue.
Actually, 就那个怎样说，就是 当下你好像真的不是就讲你走不出来，就是那个其实那一刹那，如果你能够，你就是能不能
就是灭掉了的，
对，但是就因为这个生病的期间，我都有在做，因为有时间在家就做 meditation，所以也有一点点的 meditation experience，就好像 Brad 就来讲。那个12因缘法，我也在我这个发生这个整件事，我看到，还有那个助缘怎么样的，一个善知识跟你讲一句，然后你有去做 reflect，你就能够走出来，要不然你就会卡在那里。所以我很感恩所有的助缘，让我在这么短时间的醒过来。最主要是当我一醒过来，我第一时间我就 pay respect 给药师佛。所有的 gratitude，哎呦，真不容易，本来就这2个星期的所谓的 experience 啊，真不容易，我该送奖，真不容易。但是，怎么说，有得必有失啦。对，就这样子。就是当我在meditation 的时候，因为不能睡啊，就 meditate 啊。有一次我的 meditation experience 就好像 Brad 就讲的，他 aware 到整个是那个 mind 这样子 projector 这样 project，所有的东西都是一个对，只是一个image 这样 project 出来罢了。然后对，所以就印证了 Virgil 讲的 mind made 的，全部这样子一个 image 罢了。
所以一切为心造，我们心想的那个 consciousness，that is the one that manifests and not so real。心造成的 ，and that mind is from the true mind, it manifests into the mundane mind that develop the creation process。所以你一看到清清楚楚啊 ，as I used to tell people, it's only a thought. How come it has power over you? There is only an image, not so real, not what you think. Like the block cut analogy, externally like very real, exists. But how do you know it's a block cut? Through your mental perception, which is an image of that. And how real can this image be? Externally already dependent, originating, condition arising, cause of norm. Then mentally also the dwelling, paticca samuppada. No reality. You give meaning, you hold on to it, then you are caught. That it has power over you. So all this understanding, they will unfold and manifest. Then the cultivator of the way, when they have realized it, stabilized the understanding and penetrated it, it becomes very different, it becomes a part of your nature. That's why the Yoniso Manasakara is very different. But even though you have that initially, sometimes the test come for a period, that split moment, you still will be caught, but you have to go through. Then most of the time you will clear. It's a matter of how long it takes. But now you don't have to like last time. Without the Dhamma, you can be caught for many years. So all these are very beautiful understanding and sharing. Very good.
Virgil 还有一个 experience 就是当我在早上做早上的 meditation 的时候，suddenly suddenly 我的那边好像一个 button shut off 了，然后我就听不到，本来是听到那个aware 到那个 aircon 声的，那它就忽然间全部没有掉了，然后我当下我不知道什么事情，然后后来然后后来那个 sense data 慢慢回来，就知道哦，原来是我里面想到，不是外面 aircon 想到。
你入到太过深了，所以它就 like cut off。Then after that, take a while to come out.
对，他就 sense data 慢慢回来，然后我才 慢慢的 start to 可以
perceive
那个 environment.
Then you will know you're going back to mundane consciousness already. Then everything like slow down for you to see.
Yeah, 就现在经常我都会怎么样说，就是那个这边啊，哇，它很多的 subtle 的 vibration，然后当我早上起来的时候，或者好像刚才我不知道在哪里，我也不懂早上还是晚上，you know like 我不就是猛吵吵，我跟 Freddy 讲，然后我起来我因为太累了，就6:03我起来，我说，诶，早上6:03不应该是这样光的吗？然后我才想到，不是，我现在是晚上。
Yeah.
like 没有 time的。
Yeah. You lost track of time. But actually it's the deep meditative state. That's why that nature will heal you and do a lot of things that living being cannot understand. Because that nature, once you are able to reside inside, it will go in, then it will cease. Then for how long, it's not up to you. Then it will come out on its own. Then sometimes it's like you still think that it's not that long, but the moment you look at the clock, it's already 8 hours. But your case is different because that one is you go through that weak body and sickness and it need to heal, it goes. Then after that, when you arise, you will like come to develop the understanding that it's not morning because your mundane concept of time is before that thing happened. Once that thing happened, you come out, you will lost track of it. But for my case is that I went in and come out. I thought it's half an hour. Then I checked my watch. Wow, 4 a.m. Now I was there meditating 4 hours without me knowing that it's 4 hours. Because that was the first time I tried to meditate. I don't know how to meditate. And I never had this type of fantastic stillness experience before. And after that, that mind state was with me for a few days, and almost a week. So all this, you will actually develop the understanding as you cultivate and you continue to develop the practice. Then when you reflect back, all the understanding will come back.
而且他们的达拉尼好像很容易印在我的心里面这样子。
因为前世你有 affinity 它很容易印在你的心里面。
好像我没有，昨天早上去做 morning walk 的时候，然后药师佛的这个灌顶咒，它就是他的咒音，那个海洋那位。他就我一路走就是他的咒，就是跟我的 awareness 一起这样子。
It will just manifest, and your awareness will be happy.
他就是很容易印在我的心哦，我觉得，好像我躺下去睡觉哦，他的达拉尼也是会，然后我就是一直 aware 他，然后 eventually 我就睡觉这样。
要记得 relax，放松。
是的，就要真的，因为有时候我的 heart area 那边
你一定要 relax。
对。
你放松，它就 settle down。Then it will become like very soothing. Then everything will become the way it is. 要记得放松 relax。
对，因为如果我不放松的话，它会有一个好像 pulling sensation，因为
它太强啊。
对，它的 energy flow in 的时候，如果不 relax，我会觉得有点 spasm 这样子。
Correct，因为它太强了。Like you have to slow down. Otherwise it's too strong for you.
就是大概就是差不多就是将我的 encounter with 药师佛which I feel is very
wonderful.
wonderful.
You have a lot of past affinity. Otherwise, 不可以有这个 manifestation. It's meant to be. Yeah.
还有就是我昨天去 repeat 我的 check up，然后我在医院看到很多很多的病人，然后我就 repeat 叫也是活该的，然后还有就是那些中医部也是很多，看到好多病人，然后我就会有一个想法说，要是他们能够有 affinity with 药师佛，能够加持然后学习这个法门，是非常好的一个cultivation，所以我希望我能够出那一点点力，能够benefit 他们，就是代替他们做这个药师佛的经本愿经。然后回向给众生，希望他们有机会的去早日离苦或者得菩提哈。感恩佛提阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Oh, just nice. Almost 10:30. Another 1.5 minutes. So, thank you so much for the very good sharing. And we will share the merits and transfer merit. Then we end. Akasata Chabumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anamoditwa Kirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Itawata Jamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabe Deva Anumodantu Sampasampati Siddhya Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyateyo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyateyo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyateyo. Devo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha. Pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imena punyang kamena mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nirvana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end sadhu.